Hi, I'm Saket Bansal, back again with another 10 questions on your PGMP certification. And today my focus is towards program lifecycle. Let's explore these questions. My major focus is that we start relating to the justification and you start getting the understanding of how to prepare for PGMP exam rather than just focusing on there is a one question and there is a right answer of a given question. But still, we learn it with the help of questions and the right answers. So here is my first question. The sponsor has authorized the program charter, which includes high level scope and milestones. However, stakeholders still lack clarity on what is included in the program and how the various components will contribute to achieve the program objective. Which of the following action would the should the program manager takes to improve stakeholder understanding and alignment? Yeah. So rather than I focus on options, I just focus on the question first and then we will look into the options later. So where are we? We are in a initial stage of the program which is called program formulation phase. That is very clear. The program charter has been approved. It means the business case and chartering has been done. So that two artifacts are with us. Yeah, that much we can clearly come out. Now we need something to give a more clarity on the stakeholders towards the alignment to the benefits and the component level details. So what all components will be there in the program and how they align to achieve the desired benefits. Some amount of that detail is expected to be there in the program charter, but they are looking for some more details. Now we need to find the option which can probably help us in achieving that particular objective only. Now, if I look into the program management, the PGMP exam ECO, we do have many tasks, maybe starting from 1 to 6, mainly focusing on this purpose only. So you as a program manager is worked with the charter, you have a strategic objective, you need to work on a high level scope understanding, you need to prepare a roadmap, you need to have a like a understanding of who is doing what, responsibility assignment metrics like RACI kind of things. Then you will have some understanding of measurement of the key indicators, and probably you will conduct a kickoff meeting. So all these things are more or less connected to this particular question. So I can do many of these ideas which are listed here, but I can assume the high level scope might have already been done because we already have a project, the program charter. So that's there. We can understand that the roadmap is definitely not there. So roadmap is a good option. Creating a role and responsibility assignment, that not the focus area right now because we are talking about component. Key measurements, the focus is not towards the measurement. Kickoff meeting can be done as a good communication tool, but the confusion is about the correlationship. Kickoff meeting could have been a good option when we look into the collaborative way of understanding and creating interactive communication to make sure people are understanding it rather than they are just exploring what is there. So by looking at this, we can go back to our question and we can say, okay, now what are the options? So option is talking about develop a high level program roadmap. I go with that. That's easy. As of now, I can say yes. It's a great thing to do because I know as a strategic alignment, business case, the second is your program charter, and then the program roadmap. These three are very critical element, and they get initially initiated in the program formulation phase only. So I can definitely go with A. They create a program management plan to establish detailed plan for managing scope, resource, and stakeholder engagement. I will do it once I pass through the formulation phase. Now, if I start interpreting this question that it is a program planning phase question, then I may start thinking about option B. But the question is clearly saying the program manager need to do improvement of the stakeholder understanding and alignment. So if I get into the planning stage, that is going to be a detailed plan, and maybe the stakeholder may not be able to understand the whole plan in a one go. I need to give a roadmap or a kind of summary information to them. Prepare a detailed program scope statement. Yeah, so I can assume that I have an initial assessment done because charter is there. The detailed scope statement is a useful thing. Yeah, but the roadmap is the better thing because it's a summary level. It usually serve the purpose of doing the task. Second, the detailed assessment we will do in a planning stage, not right now in a program formulation stage. Increase the frequency of stakeholder communication to provide regular update. Yes, it's a good idea, but the question is not talking about misunderstanding. Question is asking about that we need to understand what are the components and how they are going to contribute to achieve the overall objectives. So I can clearly, easily select the option A. This is something easy. You know, the program roadmap is going to give you many questions in your exam. It's a very, very important artifact for your PGMP exam. And many a time when there is an indication of this could be a right answer, most of the time program roadmap turns out to be the right answer, even if there are other competitive options. So let's go with question 2. So your organization portfolio has given initial approval for a digital transformation project. However, before management fully authorizes the program, they require calculation for return on investment and total cost of ownership. Which of the following step would be most useful in this context? So where we are? Formulation phase, very easy. We can understand it. What is not yet done? Very clearly coming out, the charter is not done because they are saying before we authorize your program, we need something. So I am in a formulation and I have not yet received the charter. So what I could do, business case or initial assessment of organization level alignment to the work which we are doing. So we are in the initial formulation assessment. So what other thing question is indicating, there is a some amount of business case already prepared at a portfolio level, okay, but you need to do ROI calculation and total cost of ownership, which is a part of a business case. So you need to revisit and create a program level business case. So that's what we are looking into. So what will you do in order to prepare a program level business case? That's the question number 2, just as a question. Now look at the options. So this question I prepare a little bit tricky. I hope you won't get these kind of question in the exam that complicated, but it gives you a right foundation. So option A, analyze volatility in the program environment, perform a high level scope assessment, and estimate resource requirement for program execution. I would say it is not a bad option. It is, especially when you talk about volatility of program environment, when I am calculating ROI, when I am estimating returns, when I am looking into expenses, I need to consider uncertainties. That's there. High level scope assessment maybe may not be, it depends upon what is called scope. Yeah, so we can say some amount of understanding of our solution is needed, but I would say solution alternative understanding is needed. Scope is little too early a word here, so it's little negative, but let's see. Estimate resources required for the program execution, yes, you need to do that. Option 2, assess procurement needs. You probably need to do that because you are expected to calculate ROI. So you need to understand what money will go out. Review the organization quality policies. May look little weird, yeah, but actually I need to understand the quality requirement as well, compliance requirement as well, because it will help me in estimating return on investment as well as total cost of ownership. Maybe not very obvious when we are thinking about business case, but it could be a candidate thing. Yeah, and conduct an alternative solution analysis, that's for sure there. Yeah, so option B, I can easily say that procurement is easy, solution alternative is easy, quality so so. Option A, volatility is yes, high level scope so so, estimate resource requirement is definitely yes. So these are the two good option, very close. Option C, identify key stakeholders, good idea, you should do that. Yeah, so that you can discuss with them and understand what we have to do in the ROI calculation. Determine high level risk, yes, you need to, which is also as an option A, you need to identify volatility and understand organization governance policies. Yes, maybe not that critical for a business case governance, yeah, but still okay. Define the program strategic alignment, option D, yeah, yes, needed. Discuss the program requirement with the project manager, no no no, project manager over. So I think very easy to exclude is option D. Yeah, but A, B, C are pretty close. Yeah, these three options are pretty close. Let's understand them a little more deeply. So, say we can understand what all is a contributing to the business case. So, we have a idea related to program outcome, issue, the approved concepts, issues, high level risk, opportunity assessment, key assumptions, business operational impact, cost benefit analysis, alternative solution, financial analysis, intrinsic benefits. All these things are part of business case. So, yeah, we can say this is good way to answer the question, but I'm still worried about the scope word and the overall quality. Now here we can also think about program formulation phase activities. In a program formulation phase activities, supporting activities of program formulation phase, we have a specific exclusion which says program scope assessment is majorly needed for chartering activity, not necessary for business case activity. But we definitely need a procurement assessment, quality assessment as a program formulation phase activity. And these phase activities are also going as an input, their assessment is going as an input to a business case, which will in turn help me in doing cost benefit analysis, and then that will help me in understanding the total cost of ownership. So that way I can say that yes, it is close call, but that's the answer. The option B, because scope is not necessary taking any input or not necessarily needed as an activity when I am working on the business case. It's more detailed. It is usually done, high level scoping is done before the charter, and then I do a scope assessment before I go into the detailed planning step. Yeah. You may have a disagreement, you do your own research, you don't have to agree with me. The whole purpose is we start thinking and start questioning our assumptions. And if we do that, our purpose is solved. Yeah. Put your comment if you have some different way of thinking. Question number 3. So after receiving the authorization of the program, you need to ensure that key stakeholder understand the program objective and support its success. Okay. Which of the following action should the program manager take to familiarize the organization with the program and secure stakeholder buy-in? Yeah. So we spoke about preparing the roadmap. We spoke about creating the identification of stakeholder, having some understanding of approach for quality, approach for risk, approach for governance. That's there. Yeah, but here the focus is you need to familiarize the stakeholders, yeah, and get the buy-in. That's the focus area. So let's see what are the options. We can say yes, it is covering all these 6 steps. Yeah, whatever we see in our first 6 tasks are pretty much visible here. And I personally see the options I have created, they all are valid option in my view. Something you need to do all the time, but maybe a little bit plus minus. So option A, develop a high level program roadmap. I should do it. Yeah, that's a good idea. And distribute it to the stakeholder for their review. Yeah. So I want to create familiarization. I want to secure stakeholder buy-in. Yeah. So it's a good idea, but it is still focusing on push communication because I may prepare a roadmap, but if I send it, they may not read it. Yeah, that's a possibility. Let's see option B. Establish a communication plan to provide regular update on program progress to stakeholders. Yeah. So it's good idea, but our problem is familiarizing. It is good idea for keeping the stakeholder engagement all the time. So I say it's easy to discard option B. Option C, conduct a program kickoff meeting, yeah, with a key stakeholder to present the program objective, address concern, and reinforce commitments. That looks like a good idea. Yeah. Now we can compare A and C. Yeah, A has a good word called roadmap, but C also has a good word called kickoff meeting. Yeah. And it is also focusing on interactive communication and taking care of program objective concerns and reinforcement, not exclusively mentioning roadmap. Roadmap is expected to be a part of a kickoff meeting, most likely, but that's a C option is looking good. Define the key performance indicator, align with program strategic objective, and distribute them for a review. Good idea, but again, distribution and KPIs, we are familiarizing them. Yeah, they are not worried about are we going to track the benefits and all. That kind of question is not coming here. So with all this, if I compare the tasks, I can go with option C, which is conducting a kickoff meeting. Now somebody will say kickoff meeting. If I search standard of for program management 5th edition, I hardly find anywhere called kickoff meeting. But it is there in your program ECO, PgMP exam ECO. So please do look at your PgMP exam ECO. Unlike PMP exam, the PgMP exam ECOs are more elaborative. They are more or less like a learning thing. You learn that the program manager is expected to do this. And if you start mapping it with the program activities, especially for program lifecycle, things will become very easy. There will be things in the exam content outline which are not there in your program management standard or program activities. So you need to keep those things in little bit mind for the overall context. So that's your question 3. Yeah. Now question number 4 looks like a simple one. Yeah, from the view it looks small. Yeah. So after the program sponsor and program manager obtain a formal acceptance for the program charter, what should be done next? Okay, it's simple. Yeah. So after you have approval of program charter, what should be the next step? Yeah. You will be moving you are still in the program formulation phase. You may need to do some kind of initial assessment, and then you will go to a program planning phase. That's easy. Yeah. Now let's see the option. Prepare a governance plan. Yeah, so we are not yet in a planning. I may need to create governance charter. Yeah, that's a good idea. I may need to create a governance strategy that I can do. Plan is maybe high level understanding of the plan can I do, but I will be taking little time before I do the planning. But let's see if I get a better option. Prepare a benefit register. Benefit register is something which happens in a very early stage. Let's see, it's a good idea. Uh, Program scopes assessment. Very good idea. You should do a program scope assessment. Yeah, but you already might have done some amount of program scope assessment. Yeah, why? Because you already have a charter. Yeah. And you will be doing it for the detailed planning, but some amount of program scope assessment is already with you, because that's the, if you follow a program formulation phase activity, program scope assessment goes as an input to a program charter. So you might have done that. Prepare high level program roadmap. That looks like a great idea. You should do it. Yeah. So I think the B and D are pretty clear. C is also there. C might have happened or may happen here. Now there is a issue B, C, and D. What might have happened before program charter and what might happen after the program charter. The B, C, D, A is easy to exclude. Yeah, because it's not a program formulation thing. We are in a program formulation, so we are stuck between B, C, D. Now, somebody will say the prepare benefit register I don't see in a program initiating or program formulation activity. So please connect with the benefit management life cycle. You do have a benefit identification phase, which is pretty much aligned to a program formulation phase. So it's relevant. Now, I brought some ideas for you. You can check them later. Yeah, there is a references. So say this is a little tricky, yeah, tricky, and I would say more like a legal like an analysis of program management standard. In a day-to-day life the flow may be different, yeah, but if this kind of question comes in, then we need to just go as per the book. Yeah. So benefit register is expected to get prepared before program charter, most likely, because in a benefit register you are not taking program charter as an input. So you can assume that when you have a program charter, the benefit register is already initiated. Yeah, you don't wait for a program charter to come to initiate. Yeah, because the input for benefit register is also your business case only. There is a possibility it may happen in parallel, but most likely it is there. Yeah, that's a possibility. The another thing is your roadmap is expected to be there. Roadmap is something which will create a alignment and clarity, and usually after program charter I go to a roadmap. The initial assessment of scope is expected to be there before program charter, because it is part of your output of program formulation activities. Yeah. So I don't say that you have to remember what I'm saying. In your real exam the choices may not be that much close, but if they are close, then better you follow the precise sequence, yeah, which you can interpret. Rather than memorizing it, if you start thinking like this, it will help you to simplify your other questions. You don't have to be too serious about a particular question alone. Yeah. So my answer is roadmap. Yeah, I usually like roadmap as an answer most of the time, but that's the answer. Question number 5. The program manager is experiencing unexpected fluctuation in resource availability due to shift in priorities across program component, resulting into resource shortage in the certain areas. Which of the following action should the program manager takes to address this situation effectively? So where we are, program delivery phase. What activity we are doing? Resource management. Simple. Yeah. So out of the 4 option, I need to identify which option gives me a resource management activity and support of achieving this particular role. So if I start thinking like this, it will be easy for me. So we can say apply resource leveling technique to adjust schedule and balance resource demand across the program projects and components. Great idea. Increase frequency of stakeholder meetings. I need to do resource management activity. The stakeholder meeting is not a resource management activity. Conduct a risk assessment. Identify, yes, risk is good, but the question is not about doing risk management activity. The question is basically focusing on during delivery phase, what do you do in a resource management activity? If I start thinking like this, I find this question very easy. If I don't think like that, then I may get a little bit confused. Update the benefit register to reflect the changes in the expected program outcome. Yes, it's a good idea, but problem is not about benefits as of now. The question is talking about resource management. Yeah, so that way I can easily go and find the answer. So this is like a 2 task in your ECO. Task number 10 in program lifecycle and task number 10 in the strategic program alignment domain. Both are talking about managing resource, and they use the word resource leveling. Very interesting word, useful word. You should not shy using resource leveling whenever you are doing resource management activity. Resource management activity during your program delivery phase is usually talk about resource leveling. It can be done as a part of a planning also. When you are doing resource planning as a part of your program planning phase, you can use the resource leveling there as well. So option is simple. Question answer A with resource leveling is the right choice. Question number 6. Your program has delivered a new customer relationship management system intended to improve customer service efficiency. To fully realize the benefit, the system needs to be integrated with the daily operation of the sales team, and an adjustment may be required to align in the existing workflow. Who would be the key stakeholder to support the implementation of the benefit? So we are talking about benefit realization, we are talking about the future sustenance of the benefits, or any, or you can say, change management transitioning work. So you have a beneficiary and you need people from the beneficiary side to support it, or the management of the beneficiary group is the key group who can support this realization of the benefits. Yeah. And if there is a hurdle related to that, I will go to my program sponsor who will support me. So that's an understanding which we can have. Now, I won't say that you may find a written answer for this particular reference. There will be some amount of judgment which I am applying, and you probably also need to apply. And we can have a difference in the judgment, but that's what we are doing. So, option A, the sales team users, they are important, but they are not powerful. They are interested. If I say high power, high interest. So, at this particular stage, they are interested. They are not powerful. So, I will say, okay. Program steering committee, very powerful, but it's a too detailed job for them to expect and support the implementation of the benefits. Yeah. So they are not necessary to be updated of each and everything which is happening at an implementation level, because they are more like a governance unit. Yeah. So if we have an approval needed, if we need more fund for that, if we have impediments which need to be resolved, we'll go to a steering committee. Yeah. Program sponsor should help us in solving the problem, should lead the benefit realization, should talk to the respective function heads. So that's there. Yeah, but it's more like supporting us, not necessary. So high power, yeah, interest, uh, medium to high in this particular stage, because we are doing implementation, or I would say high interest as well. But it's more like a doer part, not necessarily a consumer of it, not a direct beneficiary, most likely, but working with the rest of the organization to make it happen. So, good candidate option. Manager of the sales team. So, these are the direct consumer who are expected to implement the sales system, and they are very good candidate to be a key stakeholders. So, I would say close choices, and it's a pure judgment. I would suggest looking into the question again, because the question is focusing on pure implementation stage. Question is clearly indicating that you have a user base, and then they are saying in this user base who needs to support you in order to make the success happen. So in that case, I know steering committee, program sponsor is also important thing, but the user centricity is coming. Then I left with option A and D, and A is clearly out because they are not powerful. Yeah. So I can easily go with the option D. I know it's a close choice, but we can choose the option D, and that can help us in realizing the benefits. Question number 7. You are the program manager for a large organization transformation program. To ensure that program scope is clearly defined and managed, you are developing the program work breakdown structure. Great. Yeah, this structure needs to be detailed enough to align the program benefits and allow effective oversight of the program activity. To what level should the program work breakdown structure be decomposed? I would say that's an easy question. You don't need to look into the option. We understand from a project management perspective also, if you are coming from PMP or PMBOK studies, that there is no rule for WBS. You need to do a division of work breakdown structure till it is or as per the requirement of control and oversight in a given project. The same concept is applicable for a given program. So that's the answer. Yeah, I can look at the option, but that's the simple thing. So here we do have a same statement written in the program scope management planning activity. Yeah. So when you have a support activity description in your program management, like a standard for program management, you have a content explicitly mentioning, which I explained, but you can get it by just applying the common sense as well. So option A, decomposing the program work breakdown structure up to two level, as further detailing should be maintained by the program. So I have marked the answer wrong. Yeah, the answer I stick here. So answer for this is definitely not A. So decomposing the program work breakdown structure up to two level as a further detailing should be managed by project team. Definitely wrong answer. Break down the program work breakdown structure to the work package level of each component. Definitely not. It will be too much detail. Decompose the program work breakdown structure to the level of control required to effective oversight of the program scope, that's the answer. Yeah, that's the answer which we need to focus on. And so right option in this case is option C. The mark is little confusing, so we go with option C. Break down the program work breakdown structure to the planning package level of each component project, definitely not. Yeah, so in this particular case you go with option C. Okay, I hope there is no further marking error here, but let's see. Question number 8. During a phase gate review, the steering committee identifies several issues that need to be addressed to enhance program progress. One key issue noted is the absence of risk management and financial management tools, yeah, with the program. What area should the program manager address to resolve this issue? So they are just asking which particular program activity or program supporting activity helps you in taking care of your tools, yeah, out of the four options. That's it. Yeah. So infrastructure, yes. Configuration management may not. It's a part of infrastructure development only. So PMIS is also a part of infrastructure development. Configuration management is also a part of infrastructure development. We need to have a communication tools are also part of program infrastructure development. So if something is missing in the infrastructure development, I need to definitely go into infrastructure development. It is not a problem of planning. It's a problem of tool. So I don't go with a C or D. It is not something going wrong in our planning. It is something going missing in our infrastructure to execute what we want to do. So simple option A, and this can be directly mapped to your program infrastructure development content, where you can find in the page number 177 of your standard for program management. There is a description of that particular activity of program. Now, question number 9. While developing the program management plan, the program manager is preparing a program change management plan to effectively manage changes throughout the program lifecycle. Which of the following elements should be included in the plan to ensure efficient change administration and alignment with the program outcome? Simple question, basically focusing on select the things which will be part of your program change management plan. Which activity? The change management planning. Which phase? The program planning phase. That's there. You do have a section in your PgMP or a standard for program management explaining that, and you can easily find that particular answer from there. So option A, a list of potential changes request anticipated during the program execution. You may do such kind of assessment as a initial change assessment when you are doing program formulation phase to evaluate your business case and an uncertainty associated with the business case. Yeah, but it is not a change management plan. It is something, the change management plan help us in taking care of change. It could be a risk management but not a change management. So I can say not option A ranking of program changes based on uncertainty and risk in the program environment and benefits. Yeah, so you may have a change log, change register, or change analysis, but that's not the objective of change management plan. Yeah, the financial reserve dedicated exclusively to covering cost associated with unexpected changes. You can have a reserves, you can have a contingency reserves and other types of reserves, but that's not the purpose of change management plan. So option A, B, C, in my mind, they are all great options, just like they have nothing much to do with the change management planning. Option D seems to be the only left one. So procedure for capturing, evaluating, documenting change requests. That's like a book definition of change management plan. So it's easy to pick up the option D. It is coming from your standard for program management. You can directly pick up. So say you have many such activities which are explained there in appendix 1 and the lesson 4 of your 5th edition. You need to study them few times, yeah, and once you get the idea, I usually recommend reading them 5 times. And once you get that, it will help you in getting these answers with ease. It can be handled with a common sense also. Most of the time there could be one or two question where you may need to follow just as per the book, but if you have familiarity, if you spend that much time by reading those activities 5 times, sometimes people think appendix is not needed. I can talk about myself. When I was preparing for PgMP exam, I did my self study. I never looked into the appendix. I never read that activity list. Yeah, but I was able to pass. Yeah, without that also by applying common sense. But I won't recommend going in that way. I would say no. Please read it. Yeah, it helps you making things little easy. Now going for the final question for this session. So, as a part of a program procurement management planning, the program manager is developing a comprehensive procurement strategy to support program objective and the delivery of a program benefits. Which of the following action would the best align to effective program-wide procurement management? So again, we are focusing on what should we do for procurement management. We are focusing on procurement management planning here. Yeah. So program planning activity, you have a small paragraph talking two-page paragraph. In case of procurement, it's a little bigger idea. So you have a 2 pages dedicated to procurement planning. You just need to study them few times, then these kind of questions will become very easy for you. Yeah. So conduct a make or buy decision for each component independently to meet its specific needs. Maybe, may not be. Yeah. I can't say that I will do always independently. The whole purpose of program is integration. So I can remove option A. Option B, implement a separate procurement plan. I think option A and B to me looks more or less same. I can have a separate plan, but I can't say for sure everything will be separate. Yeah, there is a unique thing. Yeah, we will prepare a procurement management plan, but there is some common plan and there is some sub plan. Yeah, that is how we will follow. So there are some common procurement and there are some specific dedicated procurements. So option C, identifying common procurement needs across multiple components and consolidate them into a single procurement when feasible. That's the last word is very important, when feasible. So we should not assume that always I have to do a procurement at a program level or always I have to do a procurement at a team, at a project team level. Since I am giving a PgMP exam, I incline to do something at a program level rather than letting everything happen at a project level. That is something my mindset, and that's why I go with the option C. Let's see, select only a fixed price contract. Yeah, so that's not a recommendation even in the project level procurement as well as program level procurement. You need to identify the procurement contract type based on the nature of the work and the nature of things you are procuring. So that's not a appropriate option. So we can easily go with option C, and we can study about these things in the procurement management planning. So the last 2 3 questions I believe were easy because they just help you to get the things from the perspective of a specific section in your program management standard or a standard for program management, and that helps you in passing that particular question easily. In your exam you will get those kind of easy questions as well, so not always you have to make very close choices. So if you have specific query, if you want to discuss some of the question, put into the comment. We are here to clarify as much we can. Yes, there could be some amount of variability, and that amount of variability we need to just go with. You won't face any problem if you understand the majority 80 to 90% of the alignment with our content. Yeah. If you have a specific need for supporting your PgMP certification, connect with us. I do run a mentoring program for getting your PgMP certification at a faster pace.